Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to a brand new video on the channel. Inside of today's video, we're going to be taking a look at the most versatile brawlers to play inside of ranked or just Brawl Stars in general. So that's just not like the best brawlers in the game. That's not completely relevant for this meta. It's just in general. So you can always rely on these brawlers to give you value when you're in different rank seasons. Again, it will differ whether these brawlers have got buffs from whatever else. But, you know, Amber is the first brawler on this list. So Amber, you can always kind of go on like 4 of the 6 game modes. You can always go Amber, Gem Grab, Brawl, Hot Zone, and I forgot the other mode. Okay, I'm extremely brain dead. Heist as well. Okay, those are 4. Basically, Knockout and Bounty, you don't really want to play in Amber, but everything else you can play Amber. The reason why she's so consistent, because there's not really that many counters to Amber, right? Especially in ranked, because you can switch over her build. You've got the Dancing Flames gadget that can deal with assassins, which are normally her counters. And then you've got, Okay, Rico. You've got this gadget, I think it's Fire Starters, where it can really help against snipers, which typically can counter Amber in more open scenarios. So, yeah, there's a lot of versatility to Amber. Definitely a lot that you can do. Again, it's not like particularly her absolute best meta. I will say she's starting to go a little bit down, but in terms of versatility, literally, you can pretty much always go in Amber. So I think it's pretty safe to like max her out, because I think she'll always be relevant in the meta. Considering she's a legendary brawler as well, I think it's clear that Supercell want the legendary brawlers to always be pretty decent in the meta, outside of Chester, actually, because Chester was a meta for a long time. But get my thinking, that was because he needed a rework. So like you always know that, because for example, you know, Meg, she's one of the least played brawlers in the game, but you know, there's other really low played brawlers in the game, but because Meg's a legendary, they of course want Meg to be really good in the meta, or at least relevant. So we can always bank on Amber to be relevant in the meta. If that's what the point I'm getting at, guys. That's the point I'm getting at, okay? I may have waffled, okay? I'm a little bit sick. My mind doesn't work properly, but we're putting the ball in the corner. We are SK gaming right now, so I'm just going to run into Barley. Why not? Just run, smash the auto aim button, press the super again. I mean, this should be GG. It's nothing that they can even do. And again, I just love playing Amber in particular on Gem Grab and Brawl. Any grassy map, you know, Last Stop, for example, she's going to be really good on center stage. And I feel like she's always forgotten. So you can always pretty much go in Amber. She's never going to be banned out. She's always consistent. You know, she's never really terrible in the meta as well. So one brawler that you've got to always have certain brawlers like this in your arsenal, in your player pool, and Amber definitely is a good one to have. So that's going to be the first one. Let me take a look quickly at my KD, because I think it was pretty good. I was laning a Chester and a Gale for most of the game, and those are really meta. But okay, I went 3 and 4. The Rico did pretty much hard carry, but I got a lot of damage, okay? But that's going to be the first one. Let's hop into another. Alright, guys, jumping into another brawler who is really consistent in the meta and super versatile. It has to be Carl. So again, another brawler that isn't like the highlight of this meta, which I guess we kind of focus on too much on this channel, but at the same time, Carl is always consistent. He's always in and around the B/A tier, and whenever he's like straight back down to the D tier, they just increase his pickaxe speed and make him one of the best brawlers in the game. So I think the thing that's kind of stopping Carl from being an absolute menace is definitely the fact that he hasn't got a hypercharge. But outside of that, I think a lot of times it is just a skill difference, because a good Carl can easily make things work a lot of the time, because he has so many good matchups when you can just flying hook onto a thrower, a sniper, and he's just going to be able to cook every single time. So again, we've got a flying hook, which should just send us straight over this lake. The one shot off super, which should just put us straight into the bell, and this is pretty much GG. Just Carl just rips through absolutely everything if you get him in the right matchup. And again, he's always versatile, because with Carl, you can go him everywhere. You can go on Brawl, Gem Grab, Heist, as I'm doing right now, because if you get on top of the safe, you can shoot against the wall and deal a lot of damage. You've got Brawl to make some good plays. You've got a Bounty because he's good at countering snipers. You've got Gem Grab, he can be pretty decent down the lane. Literally everywhere you can play Carl, because as a last pick, he's always going to be pretty good as well. So that's going to be the second most consistent. Let's hop into another. Okay, so moving on to another really versatile brawler. You guys will know from watching my streams over the past, I don't know, this literal year, I've been spamming so much Bell. So a little bit recently, again, like most of these versatile brawlers, they've dropped off a little bit, mainly because there's just so many good S tier damage dealer brawlers right now in the meta. But it's pretty hard for these versatile brawlers to really do a lot. But at the same time, like, you can never really go wrong with Bell. So this is one of the worst ways to show Bell, just because
it's a very thrower-heavy map, right? This map, but luckily there's no throws. I don't know why we didn't go a thrower. Yeah, Bell's always consistent, so it's always a brawler where, you know, if I was to see my teammate go Bell, normally a very good player, but I can never really be like, oh no, they've gone Bell, you know what I mean? Literally into pretty much everything. Like, the only way I would say, oh, why did they go Bell, is if you play like penalty kick or like another really stupidly thrower-heavy map, or like Snake Prairie. Everywhere else you can make Bell work, and the beauty of Bell is that even against her counters like assassins, you can switch to grounded, and it actually is a pretty underrated counter. And then also you've got the fact that against snipers, like, yeah, snipers can do decent against Bell, but you know, a good Bell can tap and it can still win the interaction because of the shield star power. So much to love about Bell. She's got a hypercharge, which not all of the snipers do, so for now she's always going to be pretty good. And I think literally since Bell's release, she's been minimum like, I'd say B tier brawler in the meta. I think right now she's kind of floating around a B/A tier. I think in pro play, Bell still is considered one of the better brawlers because, again, the pros love going Bell because of how versatile she is. You can never really go wrong with Bell in draft. And of course, if you don't want to get out drafted, which the pros really don't, just go Bell. It's always pretty safe to go. So yeah, you can see here as well, I'm just commanding the middle again, even though Bell isn't the strongest pick on this map. Maybe just to consistently get some good damage, get some good percentage on the zone with my shield star power, and just keep on the pressure. Also, the Bell traps always confirm a kill pretty much. Let's see, nice. And we should be able to get the pinch on the surge. Like, look at these taps, absolutely insane. My teammates, of course, can die to the bow mines. I mean, we don't mind opening up the map for ourselves. Maybe not for Larry, but we'll take it more open the better. Also, of course, her main attack is just so good for pressure. You just hit one shot, it can force all the opponents back into spawn. Okay, we don't want to go too forward there because Surge just have a super. There we go. I was going to die as well. And it's just perfect. Like, literally just destroyed these guys. And again, it's not even a good Bell map. Normally a good Bell map is much more open, like Ring of Fire, something like that. I think she's so versatile and just always a great asset in ranks. You got to take a look. 17 and 2. See what I mean? This is why I go Bell so much. I know there's 1 and 15 on the other hand, but 17 and 12 too. My stats with Bell are always insane, so she's definitely going to be a good brawler to unlock and put your resources in pretty much every single meta. Let's jump into the last one. Right, guys, jumping into the final brawler, who I believe is super versatile and one of my favorites. Literally since release, it has to be Larry and Lori. So again, the twins are always super underrated. I don't really see them banned out too much in the draft phase. They are really, really strong. They're just pretty much good in every single scenario. There's not really any true counters to them. Main reason being is because, again, you've got the switch of the star powers, which, of course, on a game mode like Knockout, Bounty, you're going to be using the star power Protect, I think it is. I forgot which way around it is. But anyways, the one that gives you the extra bit of HP and that it transfers it over to the twin. But then, of course, if you're up against an assassin, which I forgot to do this time, you want to be using the assist one that gives you the extra ammo when the twin hits anybody, which, of course, is going to be really fantastic. So, yeah, our teammate first picked Frank, I think, or second pick Frank on Knockout, which is just hilariously down bad. So, yeah, we're in a bit of a predicament right now. But yeah, the twins definitely one of my favorite in ranked. And in terms of other brawlers that are super versatile, we've got a few other options as well. So Max and Gina, two brawlers which I've always loved in competitive. They've always been one of the most played brawlers, even when sometimes they're not even meta, because good players can make them work and they hardly have any bad matchups, the Gina and Max, and both in combination are so good together. So both of these brawlers are going to be pretty good. And then you have Charlie, Lola and Byron. So I played Charlie a few times and it nearly worked, but I still think Charlie, just in this meta, I wouldn't recommend too much. I think she's going towards the D tier, but she was always versatile, and it's the only meta since her release where she's not been that good. And of course Lola's pretty good, but not as useful as even before, because even with the damage buff, it really didn't do all too much to her. Again, I'm kind of playing Larry in a really bad map. You know, throws aren't the best in this situation, but we're making it work. Somehow we're in a 3 versus 1. I don't even know how. We're up against such a good actually, no, well, lose terrible, but Mandy and Mortis against our composition. Mortis should have literally 1 versus 3. So let me know down in the comment section below who you think are the most versatile brawlers in the game. Again, I could have probably explained this a little bit better, but again, I'm super sick, so pretty hard to even get anything going. But those are brawlers that you can always rely on in ranks, and you can always level up because they're never going to be bad. But that's going to be it. Hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.